Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's start our video with a story about the little guy standing up to workplace bureaucracy. Tune in to see how standing your ground can not only save the day, but also transform your workplace experience. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. I need to ask my manager first. Sure. I was a young guy, new to the industry. I used to work maintenance in a factory, but after a few years switched to replace the retiring machine workshop guy. Technically a different department, but still closely related. To keep the place running, occasionally I'd still do odd maintenance jobs. Fix a bent thing here, replace some bolts there, just little things, and only when they were more important than whatever else I was doing. For some reason, the maintenance manager took offense to this. Apparently, if I'm going to do a job for the shop floor, I can't just help someone when they ask. I need to go ask a manager. Meaning, come ask my permission and I'll decide if you're too busy. Honestly, the guy was a control freak. Nothing to do with issue reporting, since I still did that anyway. Doing it his way was more important than doing it right, so this wasn't out of character. I basically ignored this. He was never around to ask, and often in the time it took to find him, I'd be done with the job. So cue several more talkings to when he catches me doing jobs, and eventually he threatens to take it further if I keep disobeying this order. Then the obvious solution clicks. A few days later, he comes storming up to me while I'm fixing something, thoroughly pissed. He begins ranting at me about how he's told me time and time again that I need to ask, that clearly I can't listen, and that if I can't listen, I shouldn't be doing this job. I tell him, actually, I did ask. No, you didn't. I didn't ask you, I asked my manager. He says it's fine and not to bother him asking about every little job, so just get on with it. Now, is there anything else, or can I get back to work? The machinist stood after all. He stood there for a few seconds, starting the first syllable of a word and doing half a hand gesture before cutting himself off, mouth opening and closing like a goldfish, eventually just storming off, pretending that it's all okay. Being new and young, I'd get pushed around a lot, get stuck doing the bad job that wasn't mine to do, that sort of thing. This was the turning point that where I realized a polite F-off with a reason to back it up does wonders. I don't get the bad jobs anymore. It's great to see that you've managed to secure a more comfortable and fair working arrangement through your actions. And our second story. Excuse me, I don't work here. No, please just let me. Miss, I can't do that. Okay, for some background info, this is a really recent story. It happened like 3 days ago, and I was at Target. Also, for some name tags, or whatever they're called, me equals me, CL equals crazy lady, M equals manager. Okay, so it was cold outside and I was wearing a jacket and some black pants. So I get why she confused me for an employee. I was in Target getting a buttload of snacks for my sister's upcoming birthday. Updating you guys tomorrow after the party. I mainly got pizza rolls, cupcakes, cookies, and Kool-Aid. I was heading to get some little baggies and chocolate for the return gifts, and then was planning to get her a strawberry cake. I saw a kid around the age of 10 or 11 reaching for some Oreos, so I went and gave him some. He thanked me and then walked away. Then CL tapped me on the shoulder a couple minutes later as I was picking out baggies. CL, hello, are you going to help me or what? Me, oh, I'm sorry, I'll just move out of the way. I was thinking she was talking to an employee nearby. CL, did you not just hear what I said? Me, oh, I'm sorry, I don't work here. CL, well, it looks like you do. I saw you helping another customer, so help me. Me, at this point, just like scared, not speaking. CL, well, are you going to speak or what? Whatever, just find me these things. Hands over like 64,193,631,937 page list. Me, again, I'm sorry, but I don't work here, miss. Walking away. CL, listen, I don't know who you think you are, but you obey me. At this point, she was basically digging her nails into my arm. I just flung back, hitting her nose by accident. This made Karen lady enraged, and she threw her purse at me, and oh my freaking God, that purse was like 200 pounds. So anyways, I just sort of went plop on the floor as she was still screaming at me for being lazy, falling asleep on the floor, and being rude, all the while passers-by trying to stop her. A moment or so later, the police were called, and here's how it went. P equals police. P, okay, so my name, tell us what happened. Cia, what? You're siding with that lazy employee? P, no, we're simply interviewing her first. M, also she doesn't work here. Cia, well, she still assaulted me. P, let her speak. Me, explain story. CL, she's lying. P, okay, well, let's hear your story then. CL, tells what happened, but says I hit her multiple times in the face and stomach. P, I'm not sure who to trust. May we view the camera footage? The manager agreed to show the police officer the camera footage, and the police asked me if I wanted to press charges, and of course I said yes. What the hell? Even if you did work there, that gives the woman no right to straight up assault you. Obey me? The hell? And our next story. This is good enough. I'm working on a little bit of a nightmare project at work. It's an absolute dumpster fire of a project for a plethora of reasons, but only one of those reasons just got his comeuppance and left me with a dangerously acute case of smug. This project will have a large number of users who should have access to certain areas only. Corporate espionage is a very real concern here. So the people paying for the project have very, very strict standards when it comes to access control. I've been trying to work with someone from that other company for months now. His job title is Data Compliance Engineer, and he's managed by a Data Compliance Manager. They share the same last name. At first, I thought this guy was busy, but as it turns out, he really doesn't like to actually do his job. You can email him as much as you like, no answers, but when big names are in the CC field of the email, he's all smiles and cooperation. You probably know the type. Our job is to figure out what I need from him in terms of data, then his job is to get a big list of users to me. I then feed that list into my magical script, and people have access. Happy days, right? Wrong. The first test run was a couple hundred people. I get the list a week late, and the data is just horrific. There's missing data, corrupted data, just an absolute steaming pile of crap trying to pass itself off as a data set. Takes me almost 6 hours to clean it up so I can even get the script to run. I keep track of the errors and then give that list to Mr. Data Compliance Engineer, who astonishingly replies within minutes. The data's good enough. Make it work. So that's how it is. All right. Each run gets larger and larger as time goes on, and the amount of time it takes me to clean everything up gets longer and longer. My attempts to get anything fixed falls on deaf ears. Data compliance managers protecting the data compliance engineer and the company they work for will believe their own employees over someone from outside. I tell my management what's going on, and then I tell them I have a plan. Earlier today, the plan yielded its delicious fruit. I got the actual production run a week late, again, and was supposed to have it all finished up for 2 Fridays ago. Finished cleaning and got it running at 4 p.m. last Tuesday. At 4:30 p.m. that Tuesday, there was a big conference call at the request of the people actually paying all of us to do this. On that call, me, my boss, several members of the C-suite from a multinational corporation, and the data compliance manager. They want to know why there's been a breach of contract. Do we not understand how important the deadlines are for this project? Please explain to us why we're paying you all of this money for something that's consistently late. My manager, adhering to the plan, absolutely throws me under the bus. I don't know why things are running so far behind. OP, would you care to explain why you're not meeting deadlines? Sure thing, boss. You got it. I've actually prepared a literal PowerPoint presentation of what's been going on. Slide 1, my email filtered for communications between me and Data Compliance Engineer, 100 plus emails to Data Compliance Engineer, and 10 coming back from him. Slide 2, his little gem of a response to my polite request that he make sure his data isn't garbage. Slide 3, snippets of data I found particularly entertaining, including what looked like a spot where he just opened the file in Notepad and started smashing his keyboard. Slides 4 through 7, comparisons of different files he's given me which are not garbage in the same way. Slide 8, the obvious conclusion from different versions having different garbage. He was sabotaging the files before sending them over. There's a moment of silence on the call, and you can see the data compliance manager open his mouth several times and just closes it again. The CEO of the company thanks me and then drops from the call. Almost immediately, everyone from the other company follows suit. Last Wednesday, bright and early, I got an email from a new data compliance engineer who has thus far proven to be a delight to work with. Couldn't be happier. The fruit I mentioned before? I replied all on an older email thread about something that had come up. Got 2 out-of-office replies, one from the old data compliance engineer and another from the data compliance manager. Both of them had opted to take an extended leave of absence, and if any data compliance issues are urgent, please reach out to the new guy. I made it work. Well played. It's nice when you can push a pair of probably related a-holes in front of a speeding freight train. They got what they deserved. And our last story. How we fought our HOA and won. So my wife Jess and I started seeing this puddle in our backyard that kept getting bigger. I joked one morning, "Did you forget to turn off the hose?" But nope, it was definitely off. The puddle didn't go away though, and pretty soon the walls in our house started cracking. I brought it up at the HOA meeting. Mr. Thompson, the president, just brushed me off. "It's probably your AC unit sweating. They do that," he said. Yeah, right, like an AC can flood a backyard. It got so bad that Jess and I decided to hire some experts, a structural engineer and a piping company. They dug around and found out, the big shocker, the neighborhood's main water pipe had burst right under our house. Our backyard was basically a swamp. I tried to tell Mr. Thompson again. I even showed him the reports. He barely looked at them and said, "It's just groundwater, it'll dry up." Well, it didn't. When the repair guys came to fix it, Mr. Thompson actually showed up and tried to kick them out. "This is HOA land," he yelled at them. That was it for us. We got a restraining order because he wouldn't stay out of our yard. The whole mess fixing the pipe and the damage to our house cost over $200,000, so we took the HOA to court. We told the judge everything, how Mr. Thompson ignored us and all. The judge sided with us, and we won the money to cover the costs. But I wasn't done. I ran for a seat on the HOA board, got it, and made sure everything was fixed right before we moved. Mr. Thompson was pretty mad, but that's what he gets for ignoring us. After all that, Jess and I sold the house and decided no more HOA for us. As we left the neighborhood for good, she said, "Let's never do that again." And I was like, "Agreed." And off we went, leaving all that mess behind. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.